the distinct pleasure and privilege to introduce our next speaker. He's spoken here several times in the past. Dr. Reverend Raymont Anderson is an inspiring speaker, and I'm really excited to have him here delivering the message today. Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson is a true Imagineer, brings many years of professional educator, visual artist, performer, ASL interpreter, author, and lover of comics and film in all areas of his life and his ministry, which for him extends beyond the church and center. He is an ordained Centers for Spiritual Living minister and serves as the founding minister of the spiritual director of the Center for Spiritual Integrated Arts, which is a center for spiritual living teaching center. He is both a frequently sought after guest minister speaker at various churches, centers, and events, and a frequently requested facilitator of seminars and workshops related to such things as radical and audacious self-care, living with purpose, grief, forgiveness, LGBTQ empowerment, exploring and expressing one's creativity, and much more. Since his last visit here, he has now become an ordained divine science minister. In addition to all of this, he currently serves as both the co-lead and the interfaith lead for his local Moms Demand Action chapter. Raymont is a survivor of gun violence. He is a participant in the Everytown Survivor Fellowship Program. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Raymont Anderson.
So, hello, happy spring, happy blessings. Come on, Concordia CSL family. It's been a while since I've seen you. Are you sure that you are ready for the new and improved, just turned 60 Aries lunar fire horse that I now am? Art thou ready? Okay, we gonna see. Buckle up. Okay, so today I will be sharing with you sort of what I consider a more empowered way of approaching faith, but more importantly, of embodying faith. So if you're ready for that, if you're really, then come on, give me some, let me know that you, okay. So before we start though, because what you just heard, a teacher. So before we start, I got a couple of questions for you. Be ready, because there will be a quiz at the end. So question number one, if you were to be asked, in your own words, how would you explain to someone what faith is? And more importantly, how would you explain to them, in your own words, how they can use faith consciously and intentionally? Question number two. There's a passage in the Bible that says, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. What is substance? What's that mean? I've heard it, I've read it, but when you say substance, what do you mean? What is hope? Because I'm used to, I hope I get to go to Disney for my birthday. Yeah, I'm used to hope. What is, hey, what is evidence? Especially if we're going to talk about the evidence of things unseen. Okay, I got you. Question number three. There's another passage in the Bible. I don't know why I do that. in the Bible. That, I guess it's from my past. Anyhow, there's another passage in the Bible that says, faith without works is dead. So what does that, wait, what does that look like in our everyday lives, though? Like, I understand what you're saying. Faith without works is dead. Okay, but how do I apply that to today when I got to go to grocery shopping and they don't have any more milk or bread because it snowed? What's that have to do with faith today? Okay, so we good so far. We good so you ready for your quiz? Okay, so now one last question before we really dive in. If I were to ask you, do you have faith in God? Or do you have the faith of God? Bum, 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 bum. Because that's the question. Because the moment we say that we understand in this teaching, we are divine expressions of the one. God is all there is. God is an infinite circle. Circumference nowhere, center everywhere. Therefore, all that is the divine. That means each and every one of us is an individualized expression of God. So if I don't have faith in me, I don't have faith in God. If I don't have faith in you, I don't have faith in God. And wait a minute, and if I don't have, what does it mean to have the faith of God? It means to honor, to understand, and to acknowledge that we know who and what we are. And therefore, the faith that we have is the faith of God. Now, a quick note. Pause for a brief commercial announcement. Did you know that faith in and of itself is a neutral power? Who would have thunk? And what I mean by that is faith in and of itself, because we often use faith as faith is good, fear is bad, you know, and I understand that, or faithlessness is bad. I understand that. I got you. But to have faith is to believe. It is to have a conviction to that belief and to trust. In other words, act based on that belief. So when we worry is an outpicturing of non-life affirming faith. Worry is based on a belief, and that belief is a demonstration of faith. It is tied to faith. So if I am worried that my going to the store, they're not going to have bread and milk and water because a snowflake fell, and I'm worried, then I am tying into faith and using it in a non-life affirming manner. So today I am asking us all to rethink this idea of faith. Rethink it together so that we can truly embody it as a way that radically evolves and elevates us individually and collectively. Because that's the only way we're going to create a world that works for all. So, Faith 2.0, your acronym for today. Faith. Forensic awareness inspires trust holistically. Forensic awareness. Why forensic awareness? Because forensic, such as a forensic examiner, a forensic accountant, are people who have evidence that they can take to court and present. Your Honor, I present Reverend Ray's faith. Notice it's half empty. Well, what does that say to us? Right? Like forensic awareness. How aware am I? Do I have the receipts? Do I have the evidence that shows what I say I believe? If I believe that love is the power, love is the answer, love heals. If I believe that, that's where my faith is anchored. What's the evidence of it? Am I moving and having my beingness in a way where if You tuned in. Oh man, tonight, guess what? Look, tonight, it's streaming on Netflix. Reverend Ray. Yeah, I don't want to watch the Real Housewives of CSL. I want to watch Reverend Ray tonight. Click, 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 click. And you follow me for, you know, the series has 8 episodes. Through the 8 episodes, are you going to see the demonstration? Not just what comes out of this thing. Because this thing says a lot of stuff. But if it's not showing up in my actions, then there is a disconnect between a whole bunch of places. So forensic awareness is having the proof, having the evidence, a demonstration of the amen. This is what inspires trust, which is a verb. That is the action. Faith must have trust in order to act. Breathe. This is why we say treat and move. Treat. Demonstrate your forensic awareness. Anchor in the conviction of the belief and that prayer, and know and pray from your awareness of your divinity, not praying to, praying from. I know. I recognize, I acknowledge the isness and allness showing up in, through, and as me. And I allow that to inspire my action, my work, my demonstration, and moving my feet. Holistically, it needs to show up in every area of my life. If I am extremely healthy and gorgeous, but I have absolutely no money to do anything, I mean literally nothing. I don't even have money to buy soap. So I'm gorgeous and healthy. But let us keep our arms down because the smell is okay. Or I have a lot of money. I mean a lot of money. Like I could write a check right now and give all of you $1 million. But my heart is broken. My spirit is broken. And I'm angry all the time. Right? Like, okay, well, it's it. Holistically, it needs to show up everywhere. In my mind, my body, my spirit, my relationships, my finances. It needs to show up everywhere. Holistically. Breathe. So, wait. Before we go on, you get 2 acronyms today. Since I haven't seen you in so long. Faith is also fearless action initiating true healing. Note, I did not say fear none. I said fearless. Fearless action. But Reverend Ray, I'm afraid to do the treatment for today, or I'm afraid to do the announcements today, or I'm afraid to lead this class, or I'm afraid to become a practitioner, or I'm afraid to... But can you fear a little less? Can you acknowledge what it is that you fear and crank it down just 2 degrees? And then take action, because then you are initiating true healing. Healing that goes beyond just word speak. Healing that goes just beyond, I'm good at pontificating about what healing is, but when you tune in next Saturday for the next episode of Watch Reverend Ray Turn Water into Juice. Wait, what? Okay, whatever. Okay. Right? Like, what is the true healing? Because if it's not showing up in my relationships as well as in my body, if healing isn't showing up in my community, in my finances as well, then it's not full, true healing. Because true healing is holistic. It shows up in every area of my life. So, breathe. So, there's this gentleman, he's a Unity when he was alive, on this side of the veil, Eric Butterworth. And Eric Butterworth once said, I see the world not as it is. I see the world as I am. I am in spiritual unity with God. Do we see the world as it is? War and rumors of war and pestilence and genocide and hurt and harm. Which, yes. But see, like a physician in an operating room, when a person comes in who has a gunshot wound, the physician sees the injury, but their mind is already moving to what will restore them to health and wholeness. They are already formulating in their mind, based upon the blood pressure, based upon the flow of blood, what arteries, what nerves, whatever damage may be done. They are already on the path of what does it take to heal? What does it take to restore? They're not just focused on, it's a hole, there's blood, oh no. They're beyond that. Are we already, yeah, I see what's happening in the news, but I'm already seeing a world that works for all. So I am able to see through this to the amen. And it's the amen that I am living into. It is the amen that I am living from. Because if I see the world not as it is, but as I am, and if I am in spiritual unity, divine unity with and as the divine itself, then it changes how I now navigate. It changes the energy of my conversations. It changes everything about how I now show up as the demonstration of faith, life-affirming faith. So faith is the substance. Faith is the spiritual, emotional, and mental energy that forms the spiritual prototype that Dr. Holmes spoke of when he said, when we form, there is only one mind, and that mind is God. And the moment your mind has the image of the world as it is, a world that works for all, as that is, as your mind formulates that, a spiritual prototype to which the law, oh, that's what we're doing. The law takes it, and the law begins the creative process, and it is far more likely to manifest then. Because it's not just a, I am hoping and I'm wishing, I'm hoping and I'm wishing and I'm meditating, but nothing's changing yet. But I'm hoping and I'm wishing and I'm meditating. See, for me, hope, because we talked about the substance of things hoped for. Well, hope has to be, for me it's an acronym, how our power or how our presence expresses. How is your power expressing? That's the demonstration of what you hope. That's the demonstration of your faith. The evidence is the manifestation of once it was previously an idea. Take this off for a second. This Superman ring, hopefully you can see it, was once an idea in someone's mind. And then it became a thing. And then Ray had an idea, you know, I'm a nerd, I like superheroes, there's a Superman ring, as an idea. And then I formulated, and then two ideas that manifested came together, and now Reverend Ray owns the Superman ring. Because he's a nerd. Yes. Manifestation. The demonstration of. Just like love. We don't see love. I have a box of love. I just got it at the store. Happy Valentine's Day. You can't go to the store and buy a gallon of love. You can't go to Krispy Kreme and get half a dozen of love. Even though the donuts may taste like love, that's not love. Those are donuts. Right? Like, so, but the evidence of it is, how do I treat my neighbor? Love. How do I nurture my family and my friends? That's the demonstration of. That is how we take the invisible and make it visible. So how are we doing that with faith? How are we doing that with hope? How are we doing that with a world that works for all? Especially when, once again, Eric Butterworth, he said, creation is not something that God does. Creation is not something that God did. Creation is what God is, and it is what you are. Creation is what you are. That's why you are able to create that delicious chili that you make at family functions. That's why you are able to create gorgeous knitted scarves and hats, because you are creation itself. Breathe that in, because I know that's one of those things that we're like, oh, but Reverend Ray, you are saying you are, oh, yes, you are divine. You are a divine expression of. You are holy and you are sacred. You are love given human form. So, faith without works simply means that we must show up as our behavior, our habits, and our actions. Faith shows up as the verb that makes visible our divinity. Amen is not simply something we say at the end of a prayer. And so it is. It's not something we simply say at the end of a prayer. Amen is the way we live. Prayer is the way we breathe and the way we greet a neighbor. The way we wake up in the morning and greet the new day is prayer. Prayer is not simply the words. Prayer is the activity. How do you shop? That's how you pray. How do you navigate traffic? That's how you pray. How do you deal with anger and sadness? That too is how you pray. Abolitionist Frederick Douglass once said, and I'm going to change the gender of it to make it more gender neutral. A person is worked upon by what they work on. The person may carve out their circumstances, but then those circumstances will then carve them out as well. And what he's speaking to is the reciprocal nature of the divine. As we sow, so shall we reap, which then we sow again. So in one apple, there are how many seeds? But in those seeds, how many apples? How many orchards? How much infinitude? Because what we do then comes back to us. So the more good we become, the more love we become, the more joy we become, the more it circles and cycles through the entirety of all of creation, and it returns back to us. There is only one life, and that life is God. And that life is magnificent and powerful and peace-filled and joy-filled and filled with orgasmic bliss. And that life is your life right now. Breathe. And so it is.